Assalamu alaikum. I apologize for a couple of minutes delay here. I'm just getting started because I had to set up the computers here. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Can everybody hear me and see my screen? Yes, alhamdulillah. Okay. All right, so alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Basically, today we're starting a new session, and we're basically continuing with our Tajweed sessions. And as you can recall from the previous sessions, we had covered, the last one that we covered was Lam as-Sakina, and before that we had Mim as-Sakina and Noon as-Sakina and Tanween, and then before that we had Makharij al-Huruf. So inshallah, hopefully you guys have been practicing some of these. If not, inshallah you'll get plenty of practice today. Today I intend to put into practice the rules that we have learned so far. I'll just give you a hint of what's to come. The mudud are basically also known as the mad, or mudud is the plural of mad. Basically, it's a long vowel. It's the lengthening of the vowel. If you recall from the very first sessions, we had some review of the huruf in the Quran. It's alif ba ta. In Arabic we have alif ba ta ta. So if you have a fatha on it, it becomes a. If you have a kasra on it, under it, it becomes I, and it becomes u if you put a dhamma on it. So those were all short vowels, and we could also have long vowels in Arabic, and also we can have long vowels that are elongated or lengthened. So that is what the mudud are. So basically, I looked at this chapter, and it's quite a big chapter. It's a lot of stuff to cover. So instead of giving you focusing on that today, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce the mud chapter, so you guys know what's to come, and you guys can, you have the PDFs, so you can review it before next class, and inshallah we'll cover more rules as much as we can from this chapter. The next class. It's an important chapter because there's a lot of mistakes made by a lot of people when reading the Quran, when they disregard the mud or pronounce the mud in the wrong places. So that is the case with pretty much every one of these rules. Even the ahkam al-tajweed, if you pronounce the sin as a sad or a sa, then it becomes incorrect pronunciation, because the makharij al-huruf, the points of articulation, the place where the sound is made for that letter is inaccurate. So if that happens, then obviously it's going to cause problems in the recitation. It's not going to be accurate. Same thing with other rules, right? If you made the gunna in the wrong place, if you disregarded the tanween rule, or the mim as-sakin or noon as-sakin or lam as-sakin rules, then it causes issues with your recitation. And knowing the rules is one thing. Obviously, it's an important thing that you learn the rules. And actually, I was, and the other thing is obviously putting it into practice. And I was listening to a lecture from a scholar last week, I believe, and then he was saying how he learned tajweed, and he said he learned tajweed by attending Quran classes in Medina, and the sheikh, the teacher, he wouldn't, he didn't give them the tajweed rules to begin with. What he did was he opened the Book of Allah, he opened the Quran, and he dove right into it, right? So, he said we spent the first couple of weeks just correcting our pronunciation of A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Just imagine, you're going to the Shaykh and he's teaching you how to read the Quran properly. And I mean, presumably you already learned how to read the Quran. I mean, you're already in Medina studying something. Then, yeah, I mean, it's assumed most people, they know how to read Surah Fatiha, A'udhu Billah, Bismillah, that kind of stuff. But he said, he took us back to basics. He didn't give us any rules. He just said, read after me, read as I read. And when they read, he, corrected their mistakes, and they would come back to him and practice with him, and it took 2 weeks before they went into Bismillah and so on. So he said it was a very lengthy process in the beginning, but the foundation that he laid was very, very good. So subhanallah, that's one way of learning. That you learn how to, once you learn how not to pronounce it, you will always pronounce it correctly, and your ears have to be attuned to what you are reading. If you hear somebody read incorrectly, you should be able to tell, okay, this is incorrect because it doesn't sound right and it doesn't flow right. It doesn't, this is how it doesn't happen like this. So you would be able to tell right away. But knowing the rules is almost like you have a cheat sheet, or you have like a, something. Can you lecture link? I'm not sure which you're talking about. So in any case, basically what happens is, you learn the rules, you have a cheat sheet, you have some kind of a way, almost like a key to what you're studying, and that makes it easier. So hopefully, inshallah, you guys are appreciating that, this is basically a key that somebody has come up with, and they're basically giving you the cheat sheet, so you don't have to, just learn how not to pronounce it by listening to a sheikh. You actually have some rules why the sheikh is saying this is not correct. Oh, I see. I don't know if I can share the lecture I was listening to. It was part of my curriculum at the university, so it's not publicly available. In other words, it's not on YouTube or anything. In any case, inshallah, we'll tell you more about those. And the ahkam al-mudud, are basically very, very similar to what I just mentioned. That if you read it wrong, the person who knows how to read, they will recognize it right away. And that's where we want to get to. We want to get to a point where you just cannot pronounce it incorrect, because for a fact that this is not going to be correct. It doesn't flow properly from your mouth and so on. Okay, so the mudud, the mud is basically, the definition of the mud is that it's a lengthening of the sound with the letter of the mud letters. So one of the 3 mud letters. The mud letters are the following 3 cases. Okay, so you have to remember that even though, when we were doing lam as-sakina, mim as-sakina, we were just looking at the one letter, that, it's it's a lam or a mim or a noon that has a sukoon on it. Here, this is a little bit different. It's basically an alif with, let's see, And alif is always in this state, which is an alif sakina preceded by a fatha. So alif sakina preceded by a fatha is almost like sound, right? So you have alif sakina preceded by a fatha, ba, ta, you have that kind of sound. And then you have ya sakina preceded by a kasra. Okay, so ya sound is already e, that kind of sound. And then you have a preceding letter that has a kasra on it, so it becomes e. So it's a lengthened vowel. Okay, and then the vowel sakina preceded by a dhamma. So that is the other option, the u sound. So a, e, u. So if you just have a fatha and there is no alif sakina after it, then it just becomes a. But if there is a alif sakina after it, it becomes a. And then if there is same thing, if there is just a kasra and there is no ya sakina after it, then it becomes i. But if there is a ya sakina, then it becomes e. So when we look at the examples, inshallah, it will become easier to understand and visualize this. And then the vowel sakina, if it's preceded by a dhamma. So if it's just the dhamma and there's no vowel sakina after it, then it will be u. And if there is a vowel sakina after it, it will be u. So it's it's kind of like slightly longer vowel than a, i, u. You have a, i, u. Okay, and these are the three examples that they've given that has all three of these long vowels. So one is udina. These are examples from the Quran. Udina. So alif, there is a hamza with a dhamma. So u. Normally it will just be u, but because you have a waw sakina after it, becomes u. So you read u, and then there is the dal with a kasra, and then right after that there is a ya sakina, so it becomes the. Instead of the, it becomes the. So it's slightly longer. Udhi. And then there is a noon with a fatha, so normally it would just be na, but since there is a alif sakina after that, it becomes na, udhina. You see, it becomes clearer now, right? Udhina. Instead of, if you didn't have the waw, the ya, and the alif, it will become udhina. And that would be a completely different word. Okay? So udhina instead of udhina. Okay? And they have completely different meanings. And the same thing here in the next one is noon waw becomes nu. If there was no waw, it would be nu. And then ha ya with the kasra is hi, nu hi. And then ha with a alif sakin after that, ha with a fatha, ha, nu hi ha, nu hi ha. If you didn't have the waw, the ya, and the alif, it will become nuhiha. Okay? So that is the distinction. That's why you have the long vowels. Nu, hi, ha. So these are the mud letters. And then same thing with utina, utina, instead of utina. Okay? If you didn't have the waw, the ya, and the alif, it will be utina. So this is utina. Okay, so this is just an introduction for your mud letters. Inshallah, we will continue with the session more after that because there is a lot to cover after what type of mudud, how much you do the lengthening and stuff like that, and where you have exceptions and so on. So I will leave all of those things for next week. And this week, just remember that you have these long vowels in the case of alif, waw, and ya with the fatha, kasra, and dhamma, and that's how they become That's how they become long vowels, and that is the original place where the mud is introduced in the Quran. Okay, so this is the basic foundation for mudud, and I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, they mispronounce these. So it's good to remember that this is how it will work, and this is one of the foundations of reading tajweed, reading with tajweed, that you don't pronounce anything without the correct lengthening when it has to do with the short vowel versus long vowel, where it becomes a completely different meaning sometimes, right? Okay, so with that, what I will do is I'll go ahead and recite some of these surahs, inshallah. So we did Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, and we also did Qul Huwallahu Ahad, I believe, right? So we will revise these surahs, and we will also do the next one, which is Surah Al-Masad or Surah Al-Lahab, the Tabbat Yada Abi Lahabin wa Tab, that one. So inshallah, so what I'll do today is start with Surah Al-Lahab, and because we already recited these three, I'll let you guys recite it on your own. Okay, so before that, do you have any questions before I start with that? Okay, all right. So this is a good one to start for, because there is a lot of mudud here, right? So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. I'll play the Sheikh reciting it.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Let me see if I can zoom in here. Sometimes that zoom function just disappears. Hang on. Just gonna refresh the page, and hopefully the zoom is right there. So I'll go ahead and okay. So this is the surah. So you heard the Sheikh recite it. تبت يد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يد أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى ماله وما كسب سيصلى ذهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. Okay, so as you can see, there is some rules from our previous sessions, such as the idgham here, okay, with the ghunna, and then the see, there is a qalqala here. We didn't really cover that yet. Inshallah, we will. Today's session, the mud. This is the indicator for the mud. The thing above the alif, the squiggly thing above the alif, and then also another mud here on the alif right after the mim alif, right? And then there is idhar here. There is no gunna an because of the throat letters right after the noon gunna. And then this is also, we will learn, this is even though this is not the exact definition of the mud, but there is slight mud here as well. Ma'aluhu And then you have another qalqala here. You have a slight mud here, wama. And then you have naran dhata. So you have ikhfa right here. So you have to make the gunna. Naran dhata. And then there is a qalqala here if you stop. Otherwise, there is a idgham with gunna. Lahabiyun. You can also read it. Lahabiyun wamra'atuhu. But if you stop it, there is a qalqala. Lahab. And then وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ. Okay. The qalqala is right here at the end. Sorry, it's kind of, the page is jumping up and down a little bit when I move my cursor. حَبْلٌ مِّن مَسَدٍ. So that's also another gunna right there. Okay. With idgham. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get you guys to read it one by one. For some reason, as soon as I move the mouse, it moves the screen. Oh, I don't know. Okay. All right, once I unmute one of you, then we can go ahead and, okay, I've unmuted Shahid Ahsan. Okay, Shahid Ahsan, can you go ahead and read, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات اللهب
نارا ذات
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة
الحطب.
حمالة
No, there's no noon. There's just a meme, right? So حمالة
لهب
لم حمالة الحطب.
حمالة لهب
حطب. Yeah.
حطب في جيبها حبل من مسد.
Good, alhamdulillah. So, I mean, we just need to practice more. So, I don't know. What do you guys think if we do, you know, I read one sentence, one of the verse, and then I read one sentence and then one verse, and then you can repeat after me. Is that okay? We'll try that. If that works, then that's good. Except I may have to, you know, we have to kind of reduce the background noise and see if I can unmute all of you. And try that. It's almost like a class session. So I want you guys to not talk in the background and just repeat after me, okay? In like the traditional school section where you're going to a school and you have people reading. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't hear each one of you. I can hear like one or two people, right? So I don't know, this is probably the best way because I need to be able to hear each of you, right? That's the point. If I don't hear, I don't know if you're making a mistake or not. So maybe maybe it's the same way. I think we just do the same way with one person. So let's
Muted.
Shahid Ahsan. I know it's going to be like, each one of you is going to be like, everybody's hearing you read. So, but don't be shy. Just follow along, and inshallah, that is the way we will learn. And everybody just listen quietly. So if he makes a mistake, try not to make the same mistake when you read the correction. Okay, when you listen to the correction. Can you not hear me? Can you guys hear me or not? Somebody said you can. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so I'll do this with Shahid Ahsan. Remember, we're just trying this out, so if it seems awkward, just pardon me. Inshallah, we'll go ahead and make this a little bit better eventually when we learn. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
أبي لهب وتب.
أبي لهب وتب.
Very good. وتب.
وتب.
Yeah, because there is a shadda on the ba. There is like a doubling of the ba, right? So وتب.
وتب.
Very good. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله.
ما أغنى عنه ماله.
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 No, lam has a dhamma on it, right? So ماله.
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 Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, Faiz. ماله.
ماله.
No, you're not saying it right. If you slow it down, so if just say malu.
ماله.
Hu.
هو.
Maluhu.
ماله.
Very good. Before that, you were saying malahu. So that is a different word altogether. It doesn't make sense. I mean, so it has to do maluhu. So that's why when we learn Arabic, inshallah, slowly but surely, you will know that you have to read it correctly. Otherwise, it makes a completely different meaning altogether. So ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
Very good. سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حماله له
Okay. وامرأته.
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 No, not wa'am. Wam. وامرأته.
وامرأته.
حمالة الحطب.
حمالة الحطب.
Yeah, just start with حمالة
حمالة الحطب.
الحطب. Yeah, حمالة الحطب.
حمالة الحطب.
Very good. وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب. حمالة الحطب.
Very good. في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good, mashallah. So I mean, I'll let you in on a couple of secrets, okay? The secret to learning the Quran properly is patience and repetition. Okay, that is the secret, and there is no shortcut or anything. The secret is that you are very, very patient. You're eager to learn, and you're very patient, and you're eager to learn, and you know, you have to do repetitions, right? So you have to repeat it many times once you learn it. So I mean, if you, unfortunately, some people, you know, learn it incorrectly and then repeat it many times, and then they learn the incorrect thing. So may Allah protect us from that. May we learn the right pronunciation and then repeat it so we can solidify it. So just be patient. Even the people who are just listening and they're, you know, they're being impatient, it's basically, it's going to be, you know, for you. First of all, you get reward for just being patient while you're listening to others read, and also you will learn from what they're reading, right? So if, when I'm correcting them and so on, you will learn from that as well, okay? So that's what we want to do. So repetition, patience, and you know, just paying attention to it. Inshallah, you will learn it very well. Like you saw Brother Shahid Ahsan, he was you know, reading it incorrectly in a couple of places, and you know, just by slowing down and then repeating it a few times, he's able to read it properly. So Jazakallah khair. And then you listen to Abdullah Basfar or one of the slower reciters from this site or from another site, and inshallah you will be able to listen to the correct pronunciation and then go from there. So thank you so much, Shahid. We'll go to the next person, which is Kamran. Go ahead, Kamran. Can you read it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Now, you know, you have to remember that you know, because we're doing tajweed, all the makharij have to be correct as well. So dhata, the dhal has to be like dal, not ta. Okay. Dhata, with the tongue touching the top incisors. Okay, the top front teeth, the edge of the top front teeth, it should be touching there. Okay. Okay, so we'll do one more thing. Kamran, just read after me, okay? So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
أبي لهب وتب.
أبي لهب وتب.
Okay, so here there, you know, the lam and ha and ba in lahab, they all have haraka. So you have to say lahabiyun, not lah. Lahabiyun.
أبي لهب وتب.
That's correct. So, you know, you have to pronounce the fatha on top of the ha. So Abi Lahabin wa tab.
Abi Lahabin wa tab.
Very good. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
Very good. سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
Yeah, when you pronounce the lahab, it is the small ha, right? So ha, lahab. It's not lahab.
Lahab.
Lahab. Very good.
Lahab.
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 There is no shadda on the ba, so you don't have to say lahab. You have to say lahab.
lahab.
Very good. But there is a qalqala at the ba, so lahab.
Lahab.
You don't have to like, strengthen it like lahab, but you can say lahab.
Lahab.
Yeah, that is right. So it's a small distinction. See, I mean, I can detect it because I've been listening to it for a long time, but for most people, it's a small thing, and they might say that, what's the big deal? But this is the Quran, as perfect to what we can do, as perfect as we can get it is better for us. Okay. وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ
وَأَمْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ
وَامْرَأَتُهُ
وَامْرَأَتُهُ
This thing right here, you don't pronounce it. This is wow meme. So وَامْرَأَتُهُ
حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ.
Very good. في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Did very well.
Jazakallah.
Some more. Inshallah, just with practice, everything will come out correctly. Don't worry about it. Just, I know with practice we can do anything. Why is the alif there between the waw and the meme? Because the original word is imra'a. Imra'a is woman in Arabic. Imra'a means woman. But when you do wamra'atuhu, is because you have the waw preceding it, right? So you join them. This is one of the rules we will learn, inshallah, eventually. So, if you didn't have the waw there, it would be imra'atuhu. But since there is a waw, you have to read it wamra'atuhu. Or you could say when you're speaking Arabic, you could say wa imra'atuhu. But since this is the Quran, there is tajweed rules. You have to follow the rules. You have to say wamra'atuhu. Why we say habun and not why? Not habin. Where is that? Which one are you talking about?
The one right at the first ayah.
This one?
Yes.
Why we say habun and not habin?
Why do we say lahabiyun?
And why not?
Yeah.
Why not lahabu?
Why do we say lahabiyun and not lahabin?
Oh, because of the idgham. Because there is a waw here, right? Remember when we did the the noon sakin and tanween rules? If it follows, if the noon follows ya, noon, meme, or waw, then you have to do idgham. So here we're doing idgham. Idgham means you join them together. Abi lahabin wa tab. You can also say abi lahabin, but that wouldn't be the idgham, right? So there are some recitations where you have abi lahabin wa tab, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not familiar with those, so we stick to the ones we know, which is the common recitation, which is abi lahabin wa tab. Okay. All right. So you don't have Faisab, but you have Muhammad and Uzair over there?
Yeah, me and my brother.
Okay. So let's go ahead and read the first one. Muhammad, go ahead and read.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Ma awna. وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Uzair, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله. السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Now, if you didn't stop at some of these verses, right? So, like Kamran is asking, if we didn't stop at the third verse, then how would we read it? There is ways to read it, but I encourage you guys to stop when the end of the verse is, when you reach the end of the verse, because that is easier, proper especially when you're learning. And for most cases, that is how it's intended. You stop at some verses. It's better not to stop, okay? But for the most part, it's better to stop at all of them. So you would be safe if you stopped at all of them and then continued after a pause or after stopping. So, but if you wanted to know how do you think you would read it? Kamran, do you want to try it? Do you know how? Do you want to try? How would you think you would read it? سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب, without stopping at the end of the ayah. I just unmuted you so you can try it. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. We can hear an echo or two, but that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
Yeah, that is correct. So lahabiyun, because of the waw right after it, so you have to say lahabiyun, but it's better not to do that. It's better just to stop at lahab and wamra'atuhu hammalat al-hatab. It's easier for you as a reciter, and it's better, you don't make mistakes and you have more control. You are slowing it down. Slowing down is a very, very good idea when you're reading the Quran, because of, you want to give it the respect it deserves, you want to pronounce it properly, and you want to make sure you don't make mistakes. And also, if people are hearing you, they need to be able to hear you properly, instead of, if you're going like, an express train, they won't be able to hear you properly, right? So, which is not the right etiquette for reading the Quran. So, slowing down is better, and reading with tajweed is, very, very important. Some people say reading with tajweed is wajib. It's mandatory. You have to read with tajweed. Obviously, when we read, we're reading it, but our effort should be that we strive to learn how to read with tajweed. So, jazakallah khair. We'll go to the next one. Javed bhai, go ahead, please. First, I'll let you read it first, and then we'll go together.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
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 Very good. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ماله.
ماله.
Now there is a dhamma on top of the lam, so you have to say lu. ماله.
ماله.
Very good. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
Very good. سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته.
وامرأته.
وامرأته
وامرأته
حمالة الحطب.
حمالة الحطب.
حمالة الحطب.
حمالة الحطب.
Very good. في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. في جيدها.
في جيدها
حبل من مسد.
حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Keep practicing. Keep listening to the Sheikh online. And inshallah you'll do it well. Jazakallah khair. Tahir Amin, you want to try it?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. سيصلى نارا ذات لهب. وامرأته حمالة الحطب. في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
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 ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
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 The ha is the small ha, right? So there's no laha, but it's lahab.
لهب.
Very good. وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Same thing for you. Just practice and listen to the Sheikh online. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute here. Assalamu alaikum, Wasim Saab.
Alaikum assalam.
Jazakallah khair. Go ahead and read it once and then we'll do it together.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Tabbat yada abi lahab wa tab. Ma aghna anhu malahu wa ma kasab. Sayasla naran zata lahab. وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
جزاك الله خير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
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 ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى ما عنه ماله وما كسب.
ماله.
ما أغنى ما عنه ماله وما كسب. ماله وما كسب.
ما شاء الله جزاك الله خير. سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
حمالة Very good. جزاك الله خير. في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
MashaAllah. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to memorize this surah, okay? And I want to hear this surah from each of you without you, I can't tell if you're looking at it or not, but I want you guys to do it without looking at it. So you have to memorize it. And what I'll do to end this, what we'll do is where is it? Okay, so this is Tafsir ibn Kathir for Surah Al-Masad. Basically, it just tells you the meanings, and then it tells you, more detail about each surah, each ayah, each verse. So Masad just means the palm fiber. So this surah has multiple meaning, multiple names. One is Masad, and the other one is Lahab, and some people also say Abbat. Okay, so yes, reading Surah Al-Lahab is your homework properly, reading it properly, listen to it slowly from the Sheikh from online, and I'll show you how to do it, and then also memorize it, okay? So memorize it. Obviously, you read it properly first before you start memorizing. The way to memorize this is another secret, it's not a big secret, but the way to memorize it is you say it many times, as many times as it takes, each verse one by one, right? So tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. But make sure you get the pronunciation correct before you do that. So once you get the pronunciation correct, then what you would do is basically you repeat it over and over again. Sometimes people take 10 times or 15 times or 20 times. So, once you do that, by the end of that session, you will have memorized the entire surah. Okay, Masad means palm fiber. Okay, so here's the translation. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Perish the two hands of Abu Lahab and perish be he. So this is the Tabbat means it's almost like a curse that may he perish. Yada means the two hands. Abi Lahab is the name of the person Abu Lahab. Watab and perish, the tabbat is said twice. Perish, Allah is basically cursing him. Abi Lahab, do you know who is Abi Lahab? Anybody remember who is Abi Lahab? Just type it in the text. I will inshallah share the website where you can get the translation like this one, okay? The uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So That is correct. Uncle of the Prophet is Abi Lahab. Do you know the other uncles of the prophets? That is right. He was the worst possible person to have as an uncle. So another uncle was Abu Talib, and another uncle was Hamza, and one more uncle that we know of. Who else was another uncle? Abbas. Very good. Okay, so Hamza and Abbas radiallahu anhuma, both of those were, they accepted Islam. Abu Talib, unfortunately, he was a very, very nice gentleman, but he did not accept Islam until the last of his breath. And then Abu Lahab was a neighbor. He was the his what's the relationship? He was a neighbor, he was an uncle, and two of the daughters of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were married to two sons of Abu Lahab. So there was a very close relationship. In any case, let me quickly read the translation. مَا أَغْنَى عَنْهُ مَالُهُ وَمَا كَسَبْ. His wealth and his children will not benefit him. So مَا أَغْنَى means it will not benefit him. عَنْهُ مَالُهُ. عَنْهُ is a very common preposition, or it's not a preposition, it's like a harf. The anhu, it means to him. Okay, so maluhu is his mal. Mal is wealth, right? Maluhu means his wealth. Wama kasab, and whatever he earned. Okay, whatever he earned, like his children and his wealth and so on. So it will not benefit him. سَيَصْلَى نَارًا ذَاتَ لَهَبٍ. He will enter a fire full of flames. Okay. وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ. And his wife too, who carries wood. فِي جِيدِهَا حَبْلٌ مِّن مَّسَدٍ. In her neck is a twisted rope of masad. And then it goes on. Masad is basically the palm fiber, right? So the date palm or something. The tree that dates come from, it has leaves and it has some fiber that they make ropes out of. So that rope is really, really rough and tight, and that rope is going to be around the neck of the wife of Abu Lahab. Okay, so this is some tafsir about it. I'm not going to go into it, but I encourage you to read it. So what I will do is I will send you the link. I'll post the link on the Facebook page, and I'll also send it by email, because I know some of you are not on Facebook or whatnot. So I'll go ahead and send this. So inshallah, it's much more rewarding to know the meaning and the tafsir behind it, and can memorize it than without knowing. So it's a good, it doesn't take that much. It's only 6 pages here, so you can read it, and you can read it online too. But it's better to just go through it here, okay, in a PDF. So jazakumullah khairan. If you have any questions, keep them ready for me and just ask, inshallah, and inshallah we'll do that. And I'll share whatever I can in terms of lectures and resources. Whatever I can, I will. Whatever I can't, I apologize for them. If there are questions that I can't answer, I have access to some scholars, and I can get them answered for you. So you can ask. Try to keep them on the Quran and focus on this area. And obviously, I also encourage you to join the study circles in your masajid, because we only do it once a week, which is definitely not enough. So, it's a good idea to find in your masajid, in your mosques, and locally, if there is people who are studying the Quran, join them together. You'll learn something else from there and so on. So, our knowledge is comprised of getting it from so many different sources. So, inshallah, I'll see you guys next Saturday, the same time. And remember your homework. Inshallah, what we'll do is we'll start with the homework. We'll start with each of you reciting Surah Lahab, and try not to be absent. Okay? Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.